Hey, hi guys, Dr. Dan here, your clinical dementia specialist, coming to you from my lovely garden at home at my ranch in northern Arizona. Beautiful day, sun shining, the sky is blue, and you may be able to hear that sound. Now, for those who are not familiar, they are called cicadas. And a cicada is an insect, it's about this big, and they live underground for 17 years, and then they come out of the ground, they shed their shell, they climb into the trees, and they rub their legs together to attract a mate, and that is what that sound is. And that sound is my dog barking. So what they do is they rub their legs together to attract a mate, and then after they've mated, they die. So that's the life of a cicada. I thought I'd share that with you. And they are beautiful. Sometimes you can see them. You certainly find their skin shedded, which is an entire ecoskeleton. So it's good stuff. It's an interesting place to live here. Anyway, what I want to talk about is the different types of dementia. A number of times over the last couple of weeks, I have been asked the question, what's the difference between Alzheimer's disease and dementia? Well, let's clear this up. Alzheimer's disease is a form of dementia. Dementia is just a descriptive word to mean a set of symptoms. It doesn't mean anything other than that. It describes a syndrome, a set of symptoms. Alzheimer's disease is one of those diseases, as is vascular dementia, Lewy body type dementia, frontotemporal lobe dementia, PIC disease, PICK''S. So that is the difference. There is no difference. Dementia itself is just a descriptive word. It's an umbrella term, okay? Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia that we see, and it probably affects around about 60 to 70% of all cases is Alzheimer's disease. The second most common is vascular dementia, and then Lewy body type dementia is the third most common. Some interesting things about Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia: they can coexist, and it is very unusual for somebody just to have one form of dementia, but you will treat the most prominent, the most symptoms that are presented. That's what you will treat. You could be living with both Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia. There is something called the NUN study, Aging with Grace, that started in 1986 by a guy called Dr. David Snowden, a researcher, Dr. David Snowden, who studied nuns, and it's the biggest, longest longitudinal study that's existed in studying Alzheimer's disease, and it still continues today. So what are we, 86, 96 or 6, 16, 20? We're nearly 40 years into that longitudinal study, and we've learned so much about dementia from it. But one of the things that we've learned is about mixed dementia. One of the really important things we've learned is that you can live with the plaques and tangles symptomatic of Alzheimer's disease, and it will never present, it will never turn into Alzheimer's disease until you have a stroke. And then the stroke seems to work in partnership with it, and it triggers the Alzheimer's, and then we're dealing with both Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia. And of course you can have other forms of dementia running side by side as well, not just those two. So that's what I wanted to talk about, what is the difference. And I also want to say, while I'm talking about that, is that it's not just older people that are affected by a neurocognitive issue. Younger people, the young onset starts before the age of 65, and there is childhood dementia too. Niemann-Pick's type C is a form of childhood dementia. Kids are born with it. It's about 1 in 150,000 live births have Niemann-Pick's type C, and they'll go on to present with the symptoms, which is very similar to Alzheimer's disease, at around the age of 10 or so. And then that's when they start to present, and that is when they need help and support and input. And there's not, we can't prevent it because you're born with it. So it can affect different people at different ages. Some people I speak with think that, it only affects old people, it's an old person's disease. And it's not an old person's disease. It is not a natural form of aging. While senescence or senescence is a natural form of aging, Alzheimer's disease isn't. We shouldn't get it. And my opportunity here to segue into how do we reduce our risks of getting it? Well, it's that dump the soda is one of them. Cut down on the amount of sugar that you put into your system. The other one is, of course, the brain health. Keep your brain healthy. The other one is physical health. Keep your physical body healthy. And the thing we promote and the thing we know works better than anything else is weight training, resistance training. That is one of the best forms of exercise you can have. So brain health exercises, diet and nutrition, the Mediterranean diet, the keto diet, the keto Mediterranean diet, the mind diet, the DASH diet. All these diets are really, really good for managing your brain health and reducing your risk of developing the primary dementias. And there's another thing. We have primary dementias and secondary dementias. The primary dementias are the main forms of a neurocognitive disorder such as Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, the ones that we've mentioned. A secondary dementia is something that can be identified, addressed, treated and cured. And one of those is thyroid. And I spoke about this a couple of times today because, this is an issue that I've been facing over the last few weeks with a number of patients. A dysfunctional thyroid gland. If we have a dysfunctional thyroid, if your thyroid goes out of whack, then you can present with the same symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. Short-term memory issue, disorientation of time and place, confusion in other areas. And because it comes on so quickly, it's a clue that there's something undergoing there. There's something underlying. It's not necessarily just relating to your Alzheimer's disease or whatever form of dementia you may be living with. If you're not living with any form of dementia and you start to experience these things really, really quickly, then it's quite possible that it's a dysfunctional thyroid, an overactive or underactive thyroid, or could be something else, but something that's pretty much unrelated to dementia. There's a few things we just spoke about there, isn't there? Why is there such a correlation between sugar uptake and the brain? Well, sugar is a toxin. Look at sugar as being a toxin. It poisons the liver. It goes to the brain. It poisons the brain. It's not a good thing. While we need some sugar, we don't need all the sugar that people put into their system today. It's a major cause. The Mayo Clinic, and I argue that this isn't a strictly accurate definition, but the Mayo Clinic will say that Alzheimer's disease is a form of diabetes type 3. Not strictly accurate and not something that I like to subscribe to. But I see where they're coming from, and there is a massive correlation between that sugar uptake and Alzheimer's disease. So cut it out of your diet. Just don't do it. Don't do it. And artificial sweetener, the brain doesn't know the difference, does it? How does the brain know whether it's sugar or artificial sugar? So it has the same effect because the brain doesn't know the difference. soda, 1 can of soda increases, just 1 can of soda a day increases your risk by 29% or somewhere around that. 2 cans of soda a day, double that. So don't do it. You don't need it. I mean, there are so many alternatives today to drinking soda. Water is the best alternative. I'm very fortunate where I live. On my ranch we have well water, so it's water that hasn't been touched by anything. It's just pure water. When I go into a restaurant or a cafe and it's city water, oh, you can tell the difference so much. You can really tell the difference. It's like eggs. You know, I have chickens here, free-range chickens. They give me eggs, and the difference in the colour of the yolk compared to the colour of the yolk from the eggs you buy from the store, there's just no comparison really. So, you know, getting rid of that and drinking water, just water, or tea. You know, green tea is good for you. It does have caffeine in it, but a bit of caffeine isn't gonna, you know, be detrimental to you. So do an alternative to soda, even when they promote zero sugar, sugar-free. Stay away from it. You don't need it. You just don't need it. And the damage it does to your teeth as well, you know, you don't want it. You don't need it. Just get rid of it. So there is a big correlation between the two, and one of the major risk factors to developing Alzheimer's disease is diabetes. If you've got diabetes, it's got to be managed effectively, okay, to reduce risks. So there's a few different types of dementia, and that's the difference. You know, the main message here is don't get confused between dementia and Alzheimer's, because it's one of the same, basically. Okay, that's it. Thank you for following me on this channel. Thank you for following me on Facebook and liking my Facebook page. Thank you for following me on Instagram. If you have any questions or you want me to talk about a particular topic, a particular subject, please let me know, and I will make a video for you and share it with the world. Share this YouTube with as many people as you can, because the more people we educate around the world, the better it is for everyone. So please do that, and I'd be very happy and very honored if you would share this YouTube channel and get people to subscribe to it. It's free subscription, so come and subscribe, get some education, ask me any questions you need, any questions you wish. My practice is based in Tempe, Arizona, but I work with patients worldwide because I use telemedicine. I have a telemedicine platform which is HIPAA compliant, which is private and confidential, and I work with patients all around the world through telemedicine. So you don't have to be here for me to work with you. So just let me know if you want an appointment to evaluate you and see what we can do to help. My program is based on brain health therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, hypnosis, and any other bits and pieces we might need to bring in to improve your life, your quality of life as you live the journey of dementia. I also work with families, so I'm like more like a family doctor. You know, I work with anybody and everybody who needs help. So there you go. Now, have a fantastic day. Remember to dump the soda. I'm going to count to 3, and after 3 you're going to shout as loud as you can, dump the soda, and then you're never going to drink any again, and you're going to tell everybody else to do the same. Okay, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, dump the soda. Have a great week, guys. Bye now.